Guys, I am down a lot of money right now. As a matter of fact, I'm down 47% of my portfolio. But what should I do right now? Should I hold on? Should I keep buying to reduce my average buy-in price? Or should I sell at least some of the coins I don't think are going to do well in my portfolio and buy the coins that everyone's speaking about that will likely do the best this bull run? Well, actually, this isn't my portfolio and neither am I down 50%, but I know a lot of you are, or at least you have coins in your portfolio that are at a point where you're kind of sick of them and you want to get out of them, but you don't know if it's the right move to make, if you should waste money selling them at a loss and switching them into another coin. Well, believe you me, there is a little bit of math we can do today to figure this out. Now, this is going to require a little bit of tension from you. It's not difficult math, nor does it take that much time at all. It's very important, and that's why I'm bringing it to you today. Make sure you hit a like on the video down there if you learned something new, and you're subscribed to the channel, guys. I'll be bringing you daily content through the whole bull run here to help you make the most of it. This first scenario here was actually a gentleman that had said he bought a coin quite higher than today's prices in the last bull run. And he's saying that he's down so much right now, it's not even worth dollar cost averaging into the coin to reduce his average buy price. What should he do? Should he hold it or should he sell it? Now, for those of you who don't know what I'm talking about here and are a visual learner, let's pretend this is a crypto chart from the last bull run. This is us right here. This is, of course, the bear market. And this gentleman's saying he pretty much bought a lot of the coin way back up here and in the bear market. And even now, he's been buying, but ultimately it's to no avail. He can't buy enough down here to reduce the average buy-in price lower to make some good multiples on the top side. And this is a pretty interesting question because I think a lot of you are in this position right now in a lot of the old Dino coins, okay, that have kind of pumped a little bit. So this might be a good time to consider, if possible, selling it and buying a coin more suited to the bull run. We also have more recently in this bull run, people buying meme coins, for example, or buying coins they have no conviction in due to, again, maybe you're buying from a YouTube video, whatever it may be, and they want to sell because they're down right now and they have no intention or any want to keep the coin. There was actually two answers to this, two polar opposite answers to this underneath this actual message thread as well. One says you're better off selling it all, right? All the coins you're down on and building a better portfolio from scratch. We also had someone else saying, actually, these alts will go back up because we're about to enter a massive alt season, so wait to get your initial investment back. Two different examples, but I do think the answer to some degree is a middle ground. So what do you do when you're down on some but up on others, okay? Or even harder, what happens if your whole portfolio is down? Like in this example over here, where the whole portfolio is down around 50%, and so are all your coins individually. Well, first of all, if you believe in the bull run happening here over the next 12 months, which I personally do, and you do know that better coins are out there than the ones you own right now, either because they're on a great discount, and maybe you know that they're really good, all right? General consensus is they're quite good. Maybe they're in better narratives than the coins you're in now. Maybe you just have more conviction in those coins, even if you don't own them. You know about them, you've done more research, but you can't buy them because you've got no more money, and the money you have in the market is in a coin you hate. So again, let me emphasize, what do you do? Well, there's two circumstances, I think. Okay, there's a general rule we can apply here, and there's very specific things that we can do. First of all, generally speaking, if you're absolutely certain on selling your coins, okay, not an if, maybe thinking of selling the coin. If you're absolutely certain, I want to sell this coin, I think a general rule of thumb is upwards of 20% down is a reasonable, percent down to actually sell the coin. But if I think you're around 30%, there's arguments to be made, and it's very situational because you'll be likely down enough money right there to not want to do that. For example, if you invested $100,000 into a coin and you're down 30%, that means roughly speaking, you would have about $66,000. So you've lost about $33,000. That's 1/3, guys. That's a lot of money. Now, I think anything more than 40%, and it's probably not the best idea to do so, non-financial advice, unless it's a known scam. And the reason for this general rules here is that if you think about it, again, we're about to enter alt season, so most coins should go back up. So when most coins go back up again, you'll likely at least be able to get out at either a slight loss or get your money back. Probably most coins should actually make you money, even if you bought the highs of the previous bull run. So that's a good thing. But you only want to get out, I think, when you're down so much if the coin is a known scam. If you pretty much know that that coin will not go higher, 100% guaranteed, than your previous price. So there are situational rules, and this is where math will come in. So I want you to pay attention to this part specifically, because this is where you will actually be able to work out mathematically if it's worth the swap. So I'd always say that unless you have an instant home for the cash or the position you just sold, it's best to wait to at least recoup your losses. What do I mean by this? Well, if you bought Cardano in the last cycle, okay, and you bought it $2, and the current price, which it is at 95 cents right now, giving you a loss of about 53%. So your $100,000 that you would have spent at $2 is now worth $47,500. That's bad, okay? But it's much better you holding, in my opinion, into Cardano and swapping instantly into another coin, for example, or at least swapping in the cash and then dollar cost averaging into a coin, than it is for you to just sell Cardano today and hold cash. And the reason for that is, number one, of course, we all know Cardano is a pretty decent coin, period. So it's going to go up. It's not a scam coin, okay? So it will go back to $2 and likely more. So you don't really want to materialize your paper loss right now of $52,500 because that's not amazing when the coin's about to enter alt season, which means it will go back up. So you're pretty much losing money for no reason. The second thing is, if you don't know what coin you're going to buy, having that much cash is also very dangerous, because you might actually buy a shit coin if you watch enough YouTube videos and you end up losing that money as well. So do your research now before you sell out of a coin like Cardano, because worst comes to worst and you overanalyze, Cardano will at least go up. Different story if you're holding like fart coin or a crap coin that you know is a scam or whatever, and you're not confident at all in it. It probably is better to be in cash at that point, but I'm not going to make that call for you. It's all based on your personal conviction. So say for Cardano, right, you've lost confidence. You don't want to see ADA in your portfolio because it gives you PTSD from the last cycle, or you just simply have more conviction in other coins. So let's work out what happens if you were to swap that into a coin like Render. At the current price, you'd be able to buy Render at about $7. So if you spend all $47,500 and you bought Render at $7, you'd be buying about 6,700 tokens, which is actually quite good. In addition to this, one extra, I guess, benefit of this whole losing money thing is you can actually tax loss harvest, which means the money that you actually have now realized at $52,500, you can actually take that off your tax bill at the end of the financial year, which means if you make $500,000 on Render, you can actually minus that $52,000 off that. So you're only really taxed on $400, give or take, and $50,000. Now, obviously you don't want to just do this because of the tax loss harvesting, but it's an additional benefit, of course. So here's the fun part, right? You want to run a test through before you make a swap like this, before you make a substantial switch, because if you just do a little bit of maths, you'll be able to realize I'll be able to make so much more money, or wow, actually holding Cardano is my best bet here. Often, swapping a coin like Cardano into another low gainer like Sol, AVAX, or Chainlink may make that return on investment not worth it, and sometimes better to just hold. And the reason for this, as you'll probably soon see, is that with Cardano, we have to climb all the way back up here to $2 before we actually start making any money. So if you sell out of this right now into a coin like Solana, where Solana is another large market cap likely to only get a 2x safely from here, what's the real point? Okay, because you've just lost half your money. By the time Solana 2x's, okay, you've just made your money back. So you're better off, like I said, waiting for the Cardano, whatever the coin that may be, to get back up to that $2, like I said over here. So you want to kind of make the switch, first of all, into a coin like Render that can give you more multiples. And again, the way we know this is because we use the bullrun cheat sheet to work out the GGR zones. The GGR zones, the green, gray, and red zones you can see here, are sort of like liquidity zones pulled down from a price prediction, and the price prediction is built on data. So none of my input, just completely data, market dominance, and all the rest of it. So actually you can see here Cardano's GGR zones are between $8 and $6, $6 to $5, and $5 to the current price. And what that looks like on the chart here is this. So if we average buy into Cardano at $2, okay, to get break even, we have to hit this price, of course. But then to get to the very top of the liquid zone, so the max you want to sell Cardano at $5.40 here, it's 170% gain, which means it's just over a 2.5x. Now, while that seems great, okay, 2.5x, again, if you can switch that into a coin like Render, where you're buying at today's price of $7, okay, you can actually make over a 10x from the top of the green zone. Just remember, like I said with Solana, we are down 50%. So Render's going to have to 2x here, our money, in order for us to just make back the 100K we started with. And that's a very important thing people forget about. People look at the multiples, oh, I'm getting a 4 or 5x here on maybe Solana or Chainlink. But again, that's just getting back your cost basis depending on how much money you've lost. So like I said here, just, I guess, kind of keeping it very simple for you guys, essentially with Cardano, if we were to go to the top of the green zone at $5.40, you've made $270,000. So $100,000 multiplied by the gain, so $2 into 540, that's a 2 and a bit X, right? Now with the top of the green zone for Render, it's actually a, like I said, 970% gain, or technically a 10.7x, which means that you're actually getting $509,000. Now we actually take out of this that $52,000, and we're really only being taxed on about $470,000, give or take, which is quite good. Yeah, you're still getting taxed, of course, it's a lot of money, but you're making more money here than you would here. It's as simple as that. Now, this is all great. The only issue you may or may not be realizing is that we are selling at the top of the green zone, okay, which is obviously not ideal. We want to be selling as low as possible. Now, I don't know about you guys, but for me, I don't care about trying to make the most money in crypto. I'm here to just achieve my personal goals. I have very strategic and specific goals. I'm not going to mention them here. So I don't need to make any more money than what I've planned to get. So what that looks like is if I am aiming for $270,000 on Cardano, as in I need to make $250,000 to achieve my overall goals in this bull run, then I'm going to try to make sure I get out in Render here at the lowest possible price to achieve 270K. So that might mean, for example, selling Render over here at, let's say, $50 rather than trying to get the most realistic gains out of the coin, which just simply means I am getting out substantially safer. I am still walking away with maybe my goal of 270K here, but I'm not trying to aim for the very, very high top of the coin. Obviously, every single dollar and cent you sell a coin higher adds more risk. These coins won't go up forever. No one knows where they'll stop, so it's just simply being safe. So I want to show you guys how to actually work this out here and find that level for Render that will allow you to achieve that goal, at least for Cardano here, that you'll be trying to achieve at the very top of the green zone, which again is not what you want to do. Realistically, if you want to actually exit crypto safely, you're going to have some sell levels beneath the average sell price you intend to get out of, which means you'll have to have some sell levels above that average sell price. And if that average sell price in this case is on the top of the green zone, you're going to have to be in the gray zone, which again, obviously is not ideal. So here is how it simply works. To work the math out, what you're going to do is take the amount of money you want to achieve. So in this case, if it's $270,000, you get that number. And what you do is you divide that number by the amount of money you're putting in. Okay, so in this case, it's going to be $47,500. And that'll get you a number like 5.68 blah, 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 blah. Now that 5.68 odd number is exactly how much multiples you will need to achieve from the money you're putting in to actually hit that revenue target. So what that pretty much says is that if you buy in Render today at $7 a pop, which it is here, you multiply 7 by 5.68 blah, 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 and you get a number just under $40. It's like 39 odd dollars, but we're going to round up to $40. So basically that means that we have to sell at an average price of $40 for Render. And obviously, that's substantially safer than the top of the green zone of 75. So really, we're actually almost less than half of the top of the green zone for Render. So that's safety. So $40 for Render is the equivalent revenue of selling ADA at the very top of the green zone. If we wanted to, we might be able to sell, for example, if we were greedy, I wouldn't recommend this, of course, going up to $50 per se, which might actually get us more money. Maybe we can get, rather than 270, 370K, and we're still under the green zone. Of course, like I said before, every cent you sell higher on any coin adds more risk. That's why I like to have goal setting as my first and foremost thing I do in crypto, and what I'd recommend for anyone to do, because I know, hey, I just need to achieve 270K for this coin to get what I want. It's as simple as that. Why add more risk when you can change your life at $40? So say you do this and you say to yourself, hey, selling my Cardano for render today makes sense and it all works out and I'm very happy with this, but you sit around too long, and analysis paralysis, right? And Cardano starts falling down and down and down, and maybe render starts going up. Like, this could actually happen. Well, what happens in this case is, of course, you decrease how much potential money you can throw into render. So you might go from having 47,500 to 40,000. And then if render does go up, or if you do wait too long, right, it's like, for example, you have your 47,500 cash from selling it at today's price, but you hold on for too long and render starts going up in price from 7 to 12, for example. What in this case happens is you end up just simply buying less render tokens for the money that you had. Now, in the situation where ADA goes down and render goes up, we simply can get a situation where you might end up getting a third or a half of the tokens that you could have had over here before, which just simply means you make a lot less money. And this is the predicament you can find yourself in. And that's not to say you should feel fear or feel FOMO, or once you do the math, you should instantly sell out and call it a day. I'm saying if everything stacks up, you love render. At this point in the cycle, you look at Cardano and that thing gives you a sort of feeling of like dread. You do the math, it works out, you sell render at a very realistic level. And again, you're not losing an arm and a leg in the process. Then that makes complete sense to me in a non-financial way. Analyzing it too long, waiting for a situation that has the ideal thing pop up. Cardano, for example, miraculously goes up to $1.50. You only lose 20%. Render actually drops down to $1 and you're able to make a switch and make $1 billion. I mean, that's great, of course. But the chance of that happening is next to none. Your situation playing it like that only happens as a complete fluke. So, like I say, we play things here on this channel based on risk and reward. Now, the risk is that, of course, a whole boatload of things could go wrong and that you actually end up getting less render. There's also a situation where you could get more render if you hold off for a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, or a month. But if it all works out now, the reward is evidently so quite lucrative, at least based on what you could get in holding on to Cardano. So I'll leave it there. I'll let you decide. I hope this video has helped some of you guys make a more informed decision. I get it. A lot of you want to see a video where I just kind of blabber on about useless stuff and kind of just talking nonsensical fairy stuff so it's easy to understand. We don't do things here. We play this game as it's intended to be played, methodically and properly. So if you like the sound of that, hit a like on the video. Make sure you subscribe so you can make the most of this bull run, and I'll see you all tomorrow. Take care. Bye.